Free socks.
Put the needle on the record.
This needle is always on the record, even in a loss. Of course, that is talking about the New York Knicks. This is New York Knicks 3-D, the playoff edition. This is Tim, of course. The Knicks dropped one to the Sixers in Philadelphia, 125-114. Controversy always follows this series. Controversies always follows this two teams. But this was at a different level. The Sixers, after game 1 and 2 at MSG, complained to the league that they were being fouled, they were being held, and poor Joel Embiid he's just having this rough time of it, and he just couldn't get off because of all the flagrant dirtiness of the New York Knicks. Embiid drops 50 last night, but he should have been ejected. Just 7 minutes into the game, he's on the floor grabbing Mitchell Robinson's legs, dragging Mitchie the Kid to the court. He dragged him to the ground as he attempted to dunk. And he sat there and said, "I was just trying to defend myself." How the hell were you just trying to defend yourself when Mitch hadn't even moved yet? And you literally grabbed his legs and held him down from moving. Now, of course, Robinson later sprained his ankle and he wasn't available to the media last night. But he was spotted leaving the arena in a walking boot. But this just wasn't the first flagrant foul you could watch in this game. Embiid got away with murder. You want to talk about a South Philly thug? You want to talk about what whining to the leagues and the refs can do for you, especially in your home court? Embiid is the poster child of it. It really is. And it's one of those things that it was a significant a significant moment in the game that it was just, you looked at it and you're like, how is he not out of the game? Now, more significantly, a flagrant foul. I can't even talk to because I was at the Giant draft party last night. Would have automatically got him ejected from the game. Would have thrown him out. It was dirty. Dirty is not the word for it. Dirty is and there was a couple other plays that you watched Embiid either push somebody, shove somebody. You saw on the thumbnail the one shove he gave to DiVincenzo. And there was a couple other checks that he had. I mean, it was one of those games that the officiating crew let him literally get away with whatever he wanted. Whatever he wanted, he did. Both Hartenstein, Mitchie the Kid, and everyone else, they got into foul trouble immediately, right away, because of this. So of course, you know, and the people in Philadelphia are like, well, Embiid just continued his dominant play through the game. Well, yeah, I could be dominant too if I could literally do whatever the hell I wanted to do. I could be just as dominant. Now we're gonna go back to Wells Fargo. We go back to New York for Game 4. Oh no, where are we at? No. Game 4 is in Wells Fargo. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was up really late last night. And it was a big win for the Sixers because no team has ever recovered from a 3-0 deficit. So it basically, if they would have lost last night, it would be an elimination game on Sunday. All desperation. But the desperation was this, when you could literally do whatever you wanted to do on the floor because you knew there was going to be no repercussions. I can even think, I go back to when Embiid, he also seemed to knee Hartenstein in the groin. And it was given to be an offensive foul. And then there was another play where Kyle Lowry slapped DiVincenzo in the face. And I'm looking after that going, what the hell's going on? Hell's going on here? And all this led up to Embiid grabbing Robinson. These things happened before he even grabbed Robinson's legs. It's one of those things that you just look at it and it's one of these performances you're like, okay, well, something's just not right here. He took 21 free throws. 21. Now you got to give the Sixers credit because the Knicks were just off their game. Every time they tried to get a little closer, every time they dropped it within 7, the Knicks would basically turn the ball over. There was a series with about 3 minutes left. They were down by 8, and the Knicks actually stole the ball, and then they got it stolen right back. So I mean, they are not without blame. But I just love the fact that this is something that you want to talk about fairness. I try to be as fair and as honest as on all the channels that I work on. I try to be fair and honest, and the timeout. The timeout at the end of the game in game 2 should have been given to the Sixers 100%. But there was no malice. There was no intent to harm or injure people in the 2 games in MSG. I can't say the same thing with Embiid, because how do you grab a player around the legs? How do you do that? Now, the Sixers have been complaining, well, we got cheated out of game 2. So like I said, they took their little whiny crybaby asses and they filed a grievance. And then Embiid declared his team should be the winner of the series, and he just shrugged it off. He said, I don't care, we should be up 2-0. Well, you know what? You should have been ejected. You should have had your ass thrown out. Seriously. I don't wish ill will on anyone, but if someone accidentally rolled into his knees, Embiid's knees on one play, you know what? I would be like, oh, well, you know what? It's allowed. You want to take away all the rules in Philadelphia and just say you can have all holes barred, but only for one team. This was such a poorly officiated game from the perspective that there were so many flagrant calls not made. You literally kicked someone in the groin, and it was called on the offensive player when you were on defense. You literally watched someone get slapped in the face. I saw they also show the body check Embiid had as well. He looked literally like he was out there trying to hurt somebody. And then he's going to use it. Well, I'm just a tough, hard-nosed player. And I love it. I was just defending myself on the floor by grabbing a guy's ankle who he tried to jump up and dunk over you. So your thought process was, he hadn't even moved yet. I'm going to defend myself, to protect myself. I'm going to grab his ankles. Game 4 coming up on Sunday. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks come out. It's going to be interesting to see how the Sixers going to come out. I mean, tit for tat. I mean, the Knicks should go file, some complaints with the league and the officiating crew before Sunday's game. Because I've been watching basketball since 1983. I mean, I should say I've been watching it, with earnest since 83. And this was a late 80s, early 90s game, what we saw on Thursday. But the only problem was the calls literally only went one way. Sometimes not only do you have to beat the opponent, you have to beat the officials, especially when you're at their home court. And that's what hopefully we're going to have to take a look at. And again, this is Tim. This is New York Knicks 3-D, the playoff edition, and I'm out of here.